Today on Public Eye News, former Speaker of the House and 107th District Representative Lee Chatfield faces criminal charges, and later, Ford recalls over 450,000 vehicles.
Our very own Jackson Spencer will let us know if this downpour will continue into the weekend, and I will have a look at a heartbreaking end to the Red Wings season, and more in your Sports Breakdown. I'm Austin Graham.
And I'm Luke Niddle, and you're watching Public Eye News. Former Michigan Speaker of the House Lee Chatfield has been charged with misuse of various political funds. Conducting a criminal enterprise and embezzlement were among the 13 felonies Chatfield and his wife Stephanie were charged with. Lee Chatfield currently faces a maximum of 20 years in prison, while Stephanie Chatfield only faces one count of embezzlement. The investigation into the Chatfields began in 2022 when Lee Chatfield was accused of sexual assault by his sister-in-law, which he denied, claiming a consensual affair. Investigators eventually looked further beyond into the case beyond the sexual assault claims, which led to the discovery of corruption. Among various findings, it was discovered that cash from the Peninsula Fund was used to pay off a $132,000 credit card debt monitored by Stephanie Chatfield. And Democrats regained a majority in the Michigan House of Representatives and reclaimed the party's majority via two special elections. Victories from Mei Zhang and Peter Hertzberg in the 13th and 25th districts, respectively, breaks a 54-54 ongoing stalemate since November 2023. Both candidates were heavily favored in both districts. The tiebreaker was due to two Democratic representatives vacating their seats after winning mayoral races in their hometowns. The party now regains control through November, when every seat will be up for re-election.
Another county in Michigan has reported an avian flu outbreak. A poultry facility in Newaygo County reported to the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, MDARD, that it is experiencing a highly pathogenic avian influenza, HPI. HPI is a very contagious virus that can be transmitted from wild birds through infected poultry, equipment, and on clothing of caretakers. Since the disease's first detection in Michigan in 2022, this is the 7th discovery of HPI in a poultry facility. According to the CDC, the public health risk linked with avian influenza is low. However, MDARD is encouraging caretakers to take the steps necessary to prevent future outbreaks. To learn more, you can visit michigan.gov/MDARD. And the 10th annual Anderson's Earth Week at NMU will be held this Sunday, April 21st through Saturday, April 27th. Student organizations from all over campus have multiple activities planned to help students and the community celebrate the Earth. They will also educate campus and community members about how they can lessen their ecological footprint. Some of the activities planned include a forest bathing presentation, a composting workshop, and a pollinator garden work party. All of these events are free and open to the public. Anderson's Earth Week honors the late John B. Anderson, an NMU alumnus, professor, and former head of the Department of Earth, Environmental, and Geographical Sciences. To learn more, you can contact gtu.nmu@gmail.com. And from the Middle East to Michigan, dogs rescued from the Israel-Hamas war are now up for adoption. CBS News Detroit's Luke Laster is on your block in Bruce Township with more on how you can help.
They just truly want to be loved.
The gentle eyes of pups like Cody have seen a lot.
Some of these dogs had their ears cut off, and they were full of maggots, and they were abused, and they were neglected and starved.
Kelly Labonte, director of Detroit Animal Welfare Group, tells us they received 10 dogs from animal protection organization SPCA International that came from the Middle East. Good boy. She says each of the dogs received has been living through the Israel-Hamas war.
They're very, very resilient. They're the Canaan breed that is from that area, from Jordan and Palestine area. Intelligent. They are protective but not aggressive. They are great family dogs.
A few have already been adopted, and CBS News Detroit was lucky enough to capture the moment one family made the decision to change not only their lives, but one of these dogs as well.
I can't wait to take her home.
Zena, full of energy and affection, found her forever home.
I'll send you pictures all the time.
With her new mom, Stephanie Grunow.
She needs a good home. She needs a good, loving, safe home, and she wasn't safe there.
Grunow lost her 13-year-old family dog Peanut a month ago. She says she wasn't planning on another dog so soon, but says when she saw Zena, she saw Peanut. It was a wrap after that.
We have a lot of love to give each other for a lot of years.
Now, these dogs have seen war but have all of the love in the world to share. If you're interested in adopting, we have more information now over on cbsnewsdetroit.com. In Bruce Township, Luke Laster and Cody, CBS News Detroit.
Oh, don't touch that dial. Jackson Spencer will be right back with your weather forecast, taking a look at what to expect for the week and more after this short break.
Into the Dookie Chase kitchen and meet the younger generations who are carrying on the culinary traditions of legendary chef Leah Chase.
See how it coats the spoon? That's exactly how you want it.
Episodes will dish up Creole classics and explore the history of the iconic New Orleans restaurant.
Get ready for a comfortable seat on the sofa because you're going to need it after this dish.
A mouth-watering family story, the Dookie Chase kitchen, Leah's legacy.
Wednesday at 4:30, right here on WNMU-TV.
Welcome back. I'm Jackson Spencer, here to bring you your Public Eye Weather Report. Starting off with the roof cam. It is looking cloudy and dreary outside, which is unfortunate, but you know what they say, April showers bring May flowers. Moving on to the map. The map. In Houghton, it is 44 and rainy. Ironwood, 44 and rainy. And actually everywhere up here in the UP, it looks a bit rainy and cloudy. Iron Mountain, 45. Menominee, 53. Moving over to the east side of the UP. Escanaba, 45. Manistee, 45. Sault Ste. Marie, 44. And in our lovely Marquette, 41. And then taking a closer look at those current conditions, winds southeast 10 miles per hour and a barometric pressure of 29.57 inches and rising. Taking a look at tonight's conditions, it's going to be a bit cloudy with a low of 40 and winds east-southeast at 16 miles an hour. Then looking at tomorrow's conditions, some more rain with a high of 46, low of 35, and winds east-southeast at 8 miles per hour. Then looking ahead this weekend, it looks like the rain's going to go away and the sun's going to come back. Friday, a high of 40, low of 32. Saturday, a high of 38, low of 33. And then Saturday, a high of 46. Sunday, I apologize, 46, high of 46, low of 34. And that is all the weather I have. Back to the news desk.
Thank you so much for that weather update, Jackson. Hopefully that rain will soon go away. Jumping back into some more national news, 7 out of 19 total jurors have been selected in the ongoing New York trial involving former President Donald Trump. Jurors include 2 lawyers, a sales professional, and a software engineer. 11 more jury members are still needed to be selected before next week when opening statements begin for both parties. The litigation carries magnitudes of historical significance as this case serves as the first ever criminal trial of a former commander-in-chief. This hearing will be the first of 4 cases for Trump as he faces 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. If convicted, Trump will face up to 4 years in prison. After day 2 concluded yesterday, Trump stopped in an upper Manhattan convenience store where he declared the case to be a, quote, Biden trial, end quote. And Ford Motor Company has recalled over 456,000 Broncos and Mavericks due to a loss of drive power risk. The recollection involves 403,000 Bronco models ranging from 2021 to 2024 and 53,000 Mavericks with model years from 2022 to 2023. In order to deal with the problem, auto dealers will perform a recalibration of the vehicle's body and powertrain control modules at no additional cost. While the software update is not available yet, rollout should be available by later in the second quarter, a Ford spokesperson confirmed. And as the 2024 election inches closer, polls show a significant chunk of voters are unenthusiastic about the rematch between President Biden and former President Trump. But will that keep them home when Election Day rolls around? With less than 6 months to go, Natalie Brand checks in with independent voters who could help decide this election.
Inside this Northern Virginia coffee shop of blended views, almost everyone we spoke to had the same feeling about the impending presidential election.
I'm not super excited about it.
Ben Matthew, who describes himself as independent, says this year could come down to voting against a candidate instead of in support of one.
You're not running towards something, you're kind of running away from something in some ways.
Diane Lester says in 2020 she couldn't bring herself to vote and doesn't know what she'll do this year.
It just feels really daunting and really difficult.
It's a sentiment reflected in CBS News polling. At the same time, CBS News Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto, says most voters still view 2024 as important.
I think it's going to be an interesting but important question to see how each campaign does at motivating their supporters to turn out, because there may be very few persuadable people.
Rebecca Leakway says she's committed to voting.
Personally don't love the candidates, but I know who I'm going to vote for.
But she worries a contentious election cycle will turn off younger voters.
I hope that they realize that it's important either way, and sometimes the choice is not a great choice, but you still live in a country where you have the power to make that choice, and you should take advantage of that.
Voters who spoke with us also have a message for the political parties.
Both sides need to have more empathy and understanding for the other side and be willing to compromise. Otherwise, we don't move forward.
We need to make sure that we have a leader in office that's going to represent all the people.
Hoping a future with a little less polarization could restore some enthusiasm for the next presidential election cycle. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Loudoun County, Virginia.
After this break, I'll have a look at some action on the ice and the outfield in your Public Eye Sports Breakdown right after this break.
It's a crossroads moment for humanity.
It's really exciting to watch.
Yeah, don't miss it.
Armed with a fistful of daggers, Raptors have risen to the top.
What begins as simply a story can go on to inform the kind of world we choose to create.
We have this incredible story of our continent laid out for your viewing pleasure.
Welcome back. I'm Austin Graham, and this is your Public Eye Sports Report. Starting off on the ice, the Detroit Red Wings took down the Montreal Canadiens in a 5-4 shootout win. After being down 4-3 late in the third, David Perron tied things up with 3 seconds left in regulation. No one was able to end the game in overtime, which led to the shootout. Patrick Kane found the back of the net for the Red Wings to seal the deal, but Detroit will not be playing playoff hockey this year. Thanks to Washington's regulation win over Philadelphia, the Capitals clinched the last wildcard spot. They will face regular season champions New York Rangers in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs in a best-of-7 series. Bouncing things over to basketball, the NBA play-in tournament is underway. The New Orleans Pelicans fell to the LA Lakers 110-106, pushing LA into the 7th seed. The Lakers will face defending NBA champs Denver Nuggets, while New Orleans still has one last chance to make the postseason. They will take on the Sacramento Kings for the final playoff spot in the Western Conference. Sacramento ended the Golden State Warriors season with a 118-94 win, and they will look to make the postseason for a second straight year. The play-in tournament will continue in the Eastern Conference tonight. Miami will visit Philadelphia for a tilt at 7, and Atlanta will take on Chicago in a win-or-go-home matchup with tip-off set for 9:30. Ending things on the baseball field, the Detroit Tigers took down the Texas Rangers 4-2. The Tigers scored on a wild pitch to beat the Rangers, tying up the series 1-1. Detroit's bullpen should also be credited for the win, as Casey Mize, Jason Foley, and Andrew Chafin all pitched to perfection for the Tigers. Chafin had 3 strikeouts, Foley struck out Adolis Garcia with 2 on in the 9th, and Mize went 6 innings, only allowing 2 runs. Gio Urshela had an RBI single for the Tigers, while Matt Verling scored on the Rangers' wild pitch to get the W over the defending World Series champs. Detroit was looking to take the series lead when the two squads clashed again today, but the Rangers took the game 5-4. So, Luke, I have to ask, what did you think about the Red Wings not making the postseason?
You know, I was kind of surprised. I really thought the Flyers were going to sneak one past the Caps, and obviously it's heartbreaking to lose like that, not on your own terms, but I think you'll have a lot to improve on next season. You know, losing 15-17 in March doesn't exactly help. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Luke Niddle.
I'm Austin Graham.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.
Thanks for watching Public Eye News. You can subscribe to our YouTube, tune in to WNMU Channel 13 every weekday at 4, or follow our Instagram at NMU Penn to never miss a story.